Hey, hey, Rocky Weird. Earthquake. Hello once again. I'm Weird Rock, your evil comic geek, and now we got more comics for your Forever Evil one shots. Why? Cause shut up. That's why. Now let's begin with the first issue of Brainiac. Now for Brainiac, it actually is a really good story. Shock of all shocks for a Brainiac story. It really tries to connect with the Grant Morrison story, which actually works really well and actually sets up for a new Brainiac story coming soon. So, for Brainiac fans, this is a must read. And also, if you did enjoy the Grant Morrison's run on Action Comics, it's a must read. I can't stress this enough. Next up, Harley Quinn. Now, as you can see from the cover, it's not my favorite. Not at all. I wish the cover was different so I can read this on the bus. Can't because of the cover, as you can see. Now, for this story in particular, here's the weird thing. It's not a bad story. I know, shock of all shocks. The DC's New 52 Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is not a bad story. Does explain where she I know the original origins of Harley Quinn will never be forgotten. But this actually works quite nicely. Does explain why she has white skin from head to toe. Basically because Joker shoved her into the same vat where Joker became what he is. Kind of works, and also explains how she got her outfit, which is hilarious to me. No, it was hilarious to me, but to others, it's like, oh my god, she's very violent. uh, Weirdly enough, Harley Quinn, it's a really good story. I actually recommend reading this for those who are kind of weary on the Harley Quinn series that's coming soon in November. So yeah, Harley Quinn. Who knew it was actually that good? Next up, and I was really excited when I heard this was coming, Reverse Flash. Yeah, and in case you're wondering why this one is looking much cooler instead of wearing yellow spandex, there's an explanation for that in this book. Also, if you were reading The Flash as much as I have, this comic actually makes much more sense than a one-shot, that's actually quite sad, but it's not so bad. It mostly explains how Daniel West, yeah, so that's why we don't have Wally West. His dad's evil now. Explains how he basically got his powers and where he got all the weird black armor that's on him. And the way they explain it is awesome. It just has that goofy goofy comic book science that just makes it work. Also, like the last Reverse Flash, he wants to go back in time. Great, at least another going back in time story. At least it was better than Age of Ultron or Flashpoint, but that's here or there. Well, now it got me excited to see how this will end in next month's issue of The Flash. So, if you've been reading the this Reverse Flash story, pick this up. It actually continues the story, and it's not bad. Next up, the Riddler. And unlike the Joker issue last week, this is actually part of the Forever. This is part of Forever Evil, and it's quite fun. Like a fun read. You get to see the Riddler giving riddles and just doing this out of pity revenge. I know why. I know it's kind of silly for pity revenge, but he does get away with it. And basically, all he does is waiting for all of it to blow over, waiting for Batman to return. What does he do? He plays with a deck of cards. Not these deck of cards, because they're awesome. No, he plays with his own deck of cards, which is actually pretty cool. It is a must-read. Even if you're not a Riddler fan, it's a must-read because you get to see how, like, just crazy he is. And he just wanted to give Riddler riddles, not just to basically say he did the crime, just basically he just does it for fun. Now, next up, if you are fans of Earth 2, you will be excited, but maybe a little disappointed on this issue. Solomon Grundy. Yeah. Okay, for a Solomon Grundy comic, it's not bad. I wish it could be better. Like, this is Earth 2. You get to explain, like, they do explain a bit of his backstory. Like, the cool part is, okay, let me start from the beginning. The cool part is, he's back on Earth. He's off the moon, if you've been reading Earth 2. Which is awesome. If you haven't, it would make very little sense why he suddenly came from space, and bits of his backstory would make no sense whatsoever. Still, if, like, yeah, for people who just stepped into this, it's kind of confusing. For fans of Earth 2, it's less confusing. You do explain that he was once human before, and that I guess when he died, he became what he is, which is actually a typical Solomon Grundy story. But since because of Earth 2, like how he became part of the Grey, kind of makes little sense. Like pretty much, he was from a starving family, and he snapped when he saw his wife commit suicide because, well, his boss was a dick. So basically, he snaps too, murders everyone, then murders himself, and then he comes back to life, or basically now he became part of the Grey. It's kind of weird that way. Also, while you see those flashbacks, it's like the Man of Steel movie when you think about it. That, like, you see at the present time, and you just see Solomon Grundy just walking around killing people just by touching them, which is frighteningly awesome. But again, there's really not much. Like from Earth 2, Solomon Grundy actually spoke words. He actually, like, they gave speeches, like how death was inevitable, and death and rot would rule the world, and stuff like that. Here he's speaking like he's the Hulk. Like, where's Greenbard? Also while quoting from his nursery rhyme. Which also makes very little sense, because from Earth 2 he was just called Grundy. No one ever knew he was called Solomon Grundy, so... Yay for old fans who wanted to stick with the names, and without any changes whatsoever. Still, it's like if you're like for Earth 2 fans, it's a must read for like just so you can understand for future Solomon Grundy stories, which I hope which I hope was very soon because I would love to see another Green Lantern story arc in it. All right, last but not least, and I'm going as alphabetical from villains instead of title in case some of you are wondering. Zod. And as you see at this cover, looks freaking awesome. Now, it's a one shot of basically Zod, of who he is and where he comes from, and it's not that bad. It's a bit it's a bit fast. I wish it was a mini series rather than a one shot. They keep this like maybe to slow the pacing down. But it's still kind of fun. Like, you basically Zod, or like, you get to find out what his first name was. So in case you Zod fans out there, yeah, his name was Drew Zod. Huh? Never knew. Anyway, the Zod comic basically, you get to see he always loved monsters. And basically, even like from the beginning, like you won't know to the very end, but he's been a monster the entire time. And I like that kind of story. I wish it was maybe 4 issues instead of 1. It was like the pacing got a bit too quickly. That's my only beef with the comic. Other than that, it's actually quite fun. And I kind of liked it, and I do like this, even though there are fans who will be disappointed that you don't get to hear him go kneel before Zod. Yeah, no, there's none of that, but they do stick to the same his two sidekicks, which makes it awesome. And also, still fun story. Wish it was a bit longer. That's what I gotta say. If you're a Zod fan, it's a quick read, so it's not bad. Other than that, I'm your evil comic geek, and I will see you all next time.